Me and my brother, we the first generation growing up in Harlem. And we come up in Harlem during the 40s and the 50s. In the early 50s, there used to be a black synagogue in Harlem. It was on 123rd Street. And they had an all-black synagogue. And they used to, we was like in the 3rd and 4th grade, and they used to march to the river. And they would put money in the envelopes and throw it into the Harlem River. And then we would follow them to the river and wait for them to leave. And then we would dive in the Harlem River and take the money out of the paper and put it in our pocket. That was back in the early 50s. That is powerful.
New Yorker, one for dirt, all hungry ham up on a corner. These things to lean and never sober. Went from being in the streets to running culture.
A$AP Ferg is part of a long line of Harlem creatives carrying out the neighborhood's history of pushing culture and art forward. Ferg's father, the late Daryl Ferguson Sr., ran his own shop in Harlem, printing shirts and designing logos for hip-hop icons like Heavy D and Diddy. Before that, Ferg Sr. worked for Daniel Day, better known as Dapper Dan, one of Harlem's living legends and the man who single-handedly brought high fashion to the hood. Dapper Dan saw that luxury brands weren't making clothes that catered to or even fit many black customers, so he took matters into his own hands and made them himself. Dan's designs defined the look of hip-hop during the 80s and 90s. MTV News decided to get Dan and Ferg together for a conversation about Dan's legacy.
This is my nipple, boy. This one.
Somebody take this. Can you take it?
How would you say you got your start in fashion, and how was your work perceived?
I first started selling clothes out of my car, you know.
Out of the trunk?
Yeah, out of the trunk of the car. The biggest part of the game is the personality element. I was always fly. All those things added to the charisma.
Right. So
that
people
allows
already
somebody
know who you was.
that allows somebody to come and say, I'll buy something from him. Because they ain't gonna buy nothing from somebody who ain't fly already, who people ain't gonna.
You already was selling cool.
Now, I went from that to open up in a store, thinking that the big brands would buy from me. Man, I couldn't get nobody to sell to me, man.
Why is that?
Chocolate.
Chocolate skin.
Chocolate, man. You cannot separate my fashion story from the hip hop story.
Yo, Eric, there go Dap over there, man. Let's go kick it with him for a minute. What's up, Dap? So check it out. I want to go into the boutique and check out what you got inside. But before we do that, you want to introduce the next video for us?
Oh, you know what time it is. Grandmaster Flash.
Well, yo, MTV Raps, check it out. Let's go inside, man.
And I'm going to thank God, man. May he rest in peace. Ted Demme from Yo MTV Raps. He said, yo, Dap. Anytime you call me, I don't care what time it is, I'm coming up to the store and film. I'm Dapper Dan from Dapper Dan's Boutique, East 125th Street in Harlem, and I'm the designer for the stars. As hip-hop emerged and as it spread, and then when Mike Tyson came to the store, and all the basketball players, and Mark Jackson, Walter Perry, and word is born. Puff Daddy was an intern for Andre Harrell. They didn't even have money, man, to afford their first acts. I used to loan them clothes for his acts, you know? So now, after I getting popular, and all the companies are seeing all this attention I'm getting, I ain't mad at you. Andy Hilfiger started coming to Harlem, you know, recruiting, giving out clothes.
Right.
And Tommy Hilfiger started his relationship with the rappers, you know what I mean? So when the companies started to emerge, the next move they had to do was to erase me.
As Dan's designs gained popularity, they made him the target of several major lawsuits that eventually ran him out of business. But through all that, his style changed fashion forever. More than 20 years later, his influence is still seen on young and established designers alike, and came full circle this year when Gucci debuted a runway look that made direct visual reference to an outfit Dan made in 1989 for Olympian Diane Dixon.
We didn't do knockoffs, we did knockups.
Do you think you was paying homage to like all of these different brands?
I gotta be honest with you, nephew. That creative flow had a lot to do with anger.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't sell to me.
Right.
So part of that is me saying, yo, I could do this better than what you do.
Wow.
And so that's where I went with it, you know?
Yeah. Hey, Unc, so how would you describe our outlook from Harlem, being from Harlem, on fashion?
The first generation that I saw was the guys older than me. And that's what inspired me. Even before I could afford to wear that stuff, right. I already had a vision of how I want to look in it. You know what I'm saying? In my generation, we could not afford to buy clothes. So we broke in stores through threw garbage cans into stores and ran in the grade. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that was before the crack epidemic.
Right.
And you know, the dope epidemic. So this illicit profit put money in the street.
Right.
And that money in the street generated businesses.
Right.
And it's a sad side of the story, but it's an essential side of the story. You know what I'm saying? So I say, yo, I love fashion. I think I understand this. Everybody in the street like the way I dress. So I say, I ain't gonna be serving crack on the corner.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be making crack outfits.
Funny because I took the same approach. I mean, even with my dad, like, you know, he had the store and doing t-shirts and everything like that. So I always knew there was a other way.
My thing was to blackanize fashion.
Right.
What your father did, he swagganized fashion. You know what I'm saying? The perfect takeoff from where we started at. You know what I'm saying? I said, wow, man. And now you come along, Generation 3, man. This is crazy.
So what keeps you still striving? Like, you've got so much success, you traveled the world, you've been through so much with like these huge corporations and brands.
You and your generation. You understand? Right. The greatest reward that I got out of what I'm doing is to see guys who I know would be selling drugs, selling clothes now.
Right.
You know, that's so huge to offer another way out. And that's what we do. That's what hip hop do. It can take you from the corner to the rest of the